Hello and welcome. I'm super excited to have you here today as we unpack the new 2021 SEO formula. We will be covering what you need to do today in today's environment and how Google is really looking at other factors that improve the user experience. From everything from a visual experience on your website, is it converting? Is it optimized? Page speed? Things that you've implemented in the past may not be working for you now. So we're going to take a look at that. We won't get too technical, but we will dive deep a little bit into some factors that you can start implementing today. I am going to call for your attention, please. I know it's been a hectic year and a half, and I'm sure you've been on Zoom meetings, and it's easy to get distracted. I know I've got several tabs open most of the time. So before we get started, just a little housekeeping reminder to turn your cell phones off, jump out of Facebook, and if you're really serious, let's give your undivided focus to this presentation for the next 30 to 40 minutes. What we'll be covering today are the latest updates with the Google algorithm. I know we've had updates in the past like Penguin and Panda. This is more of an algorithm that Google is looking at and how people are interacting and what their experience is on your website. So we will take a look at the factors and how to make that user experience smoother so that Google starts ranking your website. Some of the things that you have put in place in the past, they could be hurting you now. So we'll take a look at those things and how we used to set up pages, especially for our businesses that are in the service industry. I know you probably have current pages on your website now that have the city and duplicate content and things like that. And then how to optimize your website using a new SEO formula. We are actually implementing this formula with our clients and seeing some really great results. So who am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Amy Thompson, and I am the owner of Realtor SEO Pros. We are based here in the Midwest and have been running a successful local marketing agency for the past 11 years. And we're currently working with some of the top agents in our area. This is what we do. We focus and work directly with individual real estate agents. It's our mission to help those realtors stand out amongst all of the other local agents. So you're probably wondering, does SEO still matter? The landscaping has changed on Google's first page. As you can see at the top there are the LSAs and then an actual ad, and then you have the map. So things have been moving down on the first page organically, and it's even more relevant when you're on your cell phone on a mobile device. It's pushed down even further. So do people still call from organic listings? Well, yes, 71% of searchers are preferring to click on the organic results that are below the map. So as you can see again, there are the LSAs at the top, local service ads, and then there is a paid ad, and then there's the map, and then there's the map pack and the organic listings right below the map. So 71% are clicking in that area. And let me give you an example. If you're looking for a restaurant or a service, and don't think of it, from your pest control business standpoint, but think about it for your own search. Which do you prefer to click on? Type in the chat, paid or organic. Do you prefer to click on the paid ads at the top or the organic from the bottom? And don't think of it that, you're clicking on someone's paid ad. Just what do you prefer? Organic may have moved down, but people are still clicking on organic. And they're more focused on the first 5 listings specifically, where about 67% of those people are focusing on the ones that are in the map, and they're focusing on the ones that are directly below the map pack, because they're looking for someone who is actually local, someone who has a website, someone that they can click through, and they can see what that business is about. So yes, SEO still matters because you can do the paid ads, but you really we're seeing that traffic, and more of the clicks are being placed on those organic spots. So let's take a look. We track where the leads are coming from for our clients, and this is just an example of some of the leads that we have had for a client. There's 417 leads that have come in. The total investment that is including our fees for all of our online marketing and ad spend. So I know that's $8,000 a month. Might seem excessive, but that's everything. That's everything that we're doing for that client. That's not just pay-per-click. That's all of the online marketing that we're implementing for this specific client. If you divide it out, it averages about $19.32 per lead. But you can also see how many calls are organic and how many that called directly from Google Maps. 95 of them are organic calls. 173 have called directly from Google Maps. That is roughly 65% of the call volume directly from organic. So yes, SEO still matters. You can't always rely on local service ads and pay-per-click alone because Google's algorithm has changed. So let's take a look at some of the biggest changes that we have seen. You can no longer get away with duplicate content. It used to be you'd set up one page for the city and the keyword, and you'd just clone it out, changing out that keyword or changing out that city, because you want to rank. Of course, you want to rank in the city that you're in, but then you also want to rank in surrounding cities. So you don't want to just clone that content. Now, we've seen a lot of websites out there that have duplicate content, duplicate pages that are just an identical clone. So they're being penalized for that because that user experience just is the same information that's regurgitated page after page. So it's something that you might want to actually remove from your website if you're noticing a dip in your rankings. Also, low quality links. You might have hired someone like a third-party service that are using spammy links or links that are not relevant that point back to your website. Those can also hurt you. And you need to have a real physical office to rank well on Google Maps. And finally, site speed matters. We are going to talk about site speed and why that is so important. So the first thing is not being able to get away with duplicate content anymore. Most real estate agents serve within a 25 to 50 mile radius or one or two counties. So you may have your town that your physical business is located in, but there are lots of little towns and cities around that area. Even if you're in a rural or a suburban area, there's going to be small towns that you want to rank for. And of course, Google is looking at your locality of your physical location, and is it going to be relevant to the user and when they log in to do that search. It used to be commonplace to set up pages for each city and keep everything the same, but change out that city. And that's that duplicate content. So they're going to actually penalize you for that. So maybe take those off of your website if you're doing that currently. So lots of companies used to set up multiple microsites targeting different cities. Same thing with different pages. You want to make sure your pages must be unique from one page to the next and from one microsite to the next. Number 2, too many irrelevant or low quality links are pointed back to your website, and those can actually hurt you. It used to be all about the links. How many links could you have on your page? And when you had more links, you'd outrank your competition. Well, the Penguin update addressed that, and now it's all about quality and relevant links. So how can you find out if you how many links you have and if they're bad or if they need to be removed? You can have someone look at your links. You can use a service called Ahrefs and run a report to see where they might be spammy or irrelevant links, and then get those removed from your website or disavow them. And then you want to work to diversify your anchor text and build more high quality relevant links. Number 3, you need to have a real physical office to rank well on Google Maps. Google is smart. Google has made these major changes with the Penguin update. You have to have an address on your local map listings. Where it hit businesses the most, those businesses that might have used a fake address. They might have used a UPS store, a mailbox, etc., or a virtual office. They might have used their aunt's house, or somewhere that just isn't a real physical location. Invest a little bit now to really help that experience with Google and the rankings that they'll provide from that. And it just helps with Google ranking that physical business and the address in the city that you want to rank for. Number 4, site speed matters. More than ever, how is your website loading? Is it bloated with oversized images? Have you used we use Tiny PNG to compress the images so that those images load faster. The faster your website loads, the Google takes that into consideration on their page speed insights. And there are lots of optimization that can be done to improve your page load speed. Especially when consumers have an 8-second attention span, this is so important. And when they're using mobile and it's not loading correctly, they're going to bounce off to the next website. And that impacts your map rankings as well. What else has changed? Old-fashioned SEO is no longer effective. In the post-Panda, Pigeon, Penguin era, it's all about the user experience optimization. Google would make these different changes with each update, but now it's all about how users are coming to your website. Are they clicking on your site specifically based on what the title is, based on what the meta description is, and then are they staying on your website? And that's what this new SEO approach is, where we focus on that user experience and how to optimize that. And that's what we're going to cover. So some of the new ranking factors. You're really trying to sell the click. What I mean by that is that click-through rate. When someone comes to a choice between you and your competition, what does that title show them? What does that meta description show them? And is it going to be engaging for the user to click on you versus your competition? Next thing, what is your scroll rate? Google actually looks at how people are scrolling down your website on that home page. Where are they stopping? Are they staying on one particular area? Time on that page is a huge deal. And then, of course, bounce rate. We've heard bounce rate. We don't want someone to come to your website, be confused, bounce off of it, not know what they were looking for, or not get the right information that they were looking for, and then just leave your website and go to your competition. Number of citations, reviews, and relevant links. Reviews are going to be so important on your website. That builds that trust, it builds that authority. And then finally, page speed again. We want to make sure that everything loads quickly for that user and loads properly so that no image links are broken. The new SEO formula. We want your website to be visually appealing. Have images that are optimized for speed, that show the business, the trucks, the employees, and draw the user in on that top fold so that they stay there, and then they start to scroll down and get that scroll rate so that Google then ranks it. So you want to figure out what the most important keywords are based on your service area, and search volume. And there's tools out there. You can use Google Keyword Tool, WordStream, SpyFu, Google AdWords. You can see what those keywords are. You want to start with setting up a great website with unique pages, targeting those keywords. And if you've got a website that has an older style with the duplicate content, just maybe start from scratch and delete those pages completely. You want to have a page for each service and then a separate page for each city, and make sure that content is different and unique on each one. You want to make sure you're optimizing your website for that user experience, optimizing your site for SEO, and there's on-site optimization and off-site optimization. And we'll talk about that too, what you can do on your website and what you can do to build your authority off-site. And then, of course, we want to track the results. So far, I want to check in with you guys and gals and see if you're following along, if you have any questions or you'd like to share something you have learned. Let's see, Don has a question. What was the link to keywords? Oh, I haven't shared that. Let's see. Don, if you can't click on the link, I'll post it in the Facebook group. We put together this keyword checklist that you can download. I'll put that link in the chat for you. Each home buyer or seller is going to search for your keywords differently. So they might search for homes near me and city, or your city and real estate agent, or your city and homes for sale. So we put together a keyword checklist that you can use and implement for your own website, and you can download it in the link there. So Don, if you don't get it, I'll post it in the Facebook group. Okay. So let's take a look at on-site optimization. Let's dive into this and take a look at some things you can implement or have your website developer implement for you. So UXO versus SEO. UXO is the user experience versus just straight SEO. You want to leverage your multimedia to improve that on-page time. We've talked about resizing the photos. We've talked about not having a website that's bloated with oversized images. You know, our iPhones take, our phones take great pictures. They provide us with a high resolution image, but when we implement that, and that's great for print, but when we implement that on a website, it really slows the site down. So we want to resize those photos, and we use tiny PNG and Canva to compress the file size of that image. Some of the other things we want to do is we want to create a page for each one of your services. Whatever that might be, buyers, buying, sellers, property management, we want to make sure that each page is created and it has unique content on it for each service. We want to make sure that each page is created and it has unique content on it for each service. We also want to create a page for each city that you serve and put unique content on that. And then you can use a service like Nearby Now to pass that heat map data to the city pages. You want to make sure that your keyword is in your title and your H1 tag, and your H1 is your heading title on each page. We want to make sure your meta description sells the click, and that meta description is what people will see in that first description of your website. Want to make sure that your name, address, and phone number, or NAP, is in the footer of every website page. And Google really looks at that, not only on your website, but across the board on every place that your business is listed, on Facebook, on all social media platforms, on online directories and citations. That name, address, and phone number and hours needs to be consistent and be identical across the board. So if you say 24/7 on your website, it needs to be 24/7 everywhere else. Not 24 hours, not something else, not 12 to 12 or whatever it might be. It needs to be the same. Then you want to, blogging has always been there, but we want to blog with ongoing updates, and then we want to take it a step further and we want to syndicate that blog and push it out to other authority sites. And finally, we want to focus on page speed for your desktop and mobile. So these are some things that you can implement on site on the actual website for optimizing it. Then things you can do off page. Claim and optimize your Google My Business listing. I have seen so many businesses not actually claim that and then fill it out. Getting lots of citations across the web, across the internet. Build up your reviews. Building up your reviews, Google takes that into ranking consideration and will rank your business over your competition based on reviews. Of course, based on all of these other factors as well, they look into this. Build authoritative links back to your website from other sites. Do a strategic content syndication with your blog content and utilize your social media channels. Yes, social media, we all get caught up. We're out in the field. You forget to take pictures or video to share. But it's so important to show your authority on social media and who you are as a business. And showcase employees and tips, all to create this atmosphere that you are the go-to in your city, in your neighborhood, in your town. So a simple blog post on your site it just doesn't cut it anymore. You need more relevant links, and you need to push that blog site out and syndicate it. And not like we used to do, like a PR, but actually syndicate it to news channels. So there is a go-to. You want to make sure that you are the go-to authority in your location, backed by reviews, social proof, and having unique content. And Google has a new authority signal. It's called EAT. We're going to talk about EAT and how you can improve your visibility with using EAT as its algorithm. EAT is expertise. That means to have a high level of knowledge or skill in a particular field. It's evaluated primarily at the content level, not at the website or organizational level. So is your content knowledgeable and relevant to what the user is searching for? So Google is looking for content created by a subject matter expert. So authority is all about reputation, particularly among other experts and influencers in your industry. Quite simply, when others see an individual or a website as the go-to person of information about a topic, that's where authority gets built into place. So to evaluate authority, raters search the web for insights into the reputation of the website or the individual. Google actually uses individuals to rate the content that's on your website. Also using reputation research to find out what real users as well as experts think about a website. They look for reviews, references, recommendations by experts, news articles, and any other credible information that's created or written by individuals about the website. And trust is about the legitimacy, the transparency, and accuracy of the website and its content. Those raters that Google uses, they look for a number of things to evaluate trustworthiness, including whether the website states who's responsible for the published content. They take into account content accuracy, and having sufficient contact information is also a factor. So if you look at Google's SEO periodic table, these are all the things Google's looking at, whether the page can rank or not. Quality content, research, keywords, fresh, is it new content? What's the multimedia look like? Are you answering questions? What is the structure of the URLs? Are they set up correctly? The speed? Is there duplicate content? How does Google crawl the website? How are your titles set up, your structure set up, your headings set up? If you're using an AMP website, where's your authority? Where's your trust? Where's your reputation? What type of links, and are they of value? And where you're located in relevant terms to where the searcher's located. Some of the toxic things that are going to hinder your rankings are cloaking, keyword stuffing. What they used to do in black hat SEO is keyword stuffing each page and hiding those keywords on each page. Some emerging fields, voice search, video, and some other things that we're seeing that are emerging as well. So, what is the purpose of the website page? Did the user come to a listing page? Well, then it needs to be clear, and that title needs to say listings or homes for sale. We talked about EAT, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, and what it is and what Google looks at. So they're implementing actual real people to review websites to see if the content on the page is authentic and relevant. So that website information about who is responsible for the main content, who's the creator of that main content, and links to help with reputation search also. Google uses a different algorithm for local searches, which places importance on 3 important ranking categories and their supporting signals. Proximity. Yes, they're looking at how close is the place of the business to where the person is searching. So you want to make sure that zip codes are used, geo coordinates are used in your content. The rest you really can't control. Relevance. How relevant is the search term for the business? There again, that content needs to be optimized. You're having your on-page signals, your title, your meta description, your use of business categories and content and section headings, and your review velocity. How many people are reviewing your site and how many reviews are you getting? And then prominence. What is the authority of the local business, the EAT profile? How many link signals, how many reviews do you have versus your competition? Are you just putting a blog out there? Are you syndicating it out? When you syndicate it out, when we're doing this new formula, it just dramatically improves the prominence of the entity of that blog post and author over the next 3 to 6 months. So this new SEO formula, instead of just writing one blog post per month, we're pushing that blog out to other sources to drive those results back to the client's website. A blog just typically sits there. It's a piece of content. It sits on your website. So what we've done is we've shifted to a syndicated blog strategy. Instead of doing a news release and listing the client's blog as a news source. To not get too technical, this ranking strategy has helped our clients build authority and rankings. If this is something you want to learn more about, reach out to us. Something we actually are implementing with our clients, and it fills the EAT criteria. So you want to make sure that your keywords and your geo modifier in the title of each page. You want to make sure that unique content is on every page. Leverage that multimedia to enhance the time and reduce your bounce rates. Build your citations consistently. Post updated content on an ongoing basis. And even leverage paid search to identify high converting keywords. Hopefully this has painted a clear picture for you to implement in your own SEO strategies. So let me check in with you guys. Do you have any questions? What did you learn? What did you notice? What would you like to share? And Dave says, is EAT an update from Google? No, it's more of a principle or algorithm that Google looks at in ranking websites. So if you're interested in working with us, or if you just are, having a conversation of how we can help you, type in the chat, let's talk. And we'd be happy to have, just chat with you, see how we can, be of assistance to you in implementing this new strategy. John says, yes, ma'am, I'm calling you on Monday. What we want to do for you, we have, that if you want to reach out to us, we will provide you with an SEO review. It's a full analysis of your visibility online, a custom keyword list of the most important search terms. We'll provide you with a ranking report showing you where you rank currently. We'll do a deep analysis of your online directory listings and how consistent you are, your reviews and reputation, your social presence, and how effective your website is converting. This is a no-pressure conversation, and it's just we want to be able to help you getting better Google rankings. And you can give us a call at 618-698-7139, or you can go to the link there, go.terminatorpestcontrolmarketing.com/schedule. We'll drop the link in chat there, and you can schedule that appointment. Hopefully this was helpful. If there's anything we can do to support you, let us know. Thank you for attending, and let us know how we can help. Talk soon.